everyone, it's Kieran with Thrifted Living, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. So Shawn and I are going to be working on a project today. We are going to be working on a pantry space, and we have a closet in our kitchen that we have never really used properly, I guess you could say. It's not very organized. There's very minimal organization in it. But yeah, we're going to try to create some shelving. Are you excited?
I mean, it's not gonna be pretty.
It's not gonna be perfect,
It's not gonna be pretty, but it is gonna be functional, and I feel like that's for a little closet pantry.
It'll work.
I'm fine with that.
So
if it was like a shelf we were putting up
where people could see it,
like,
yeah.
Then I'd be like, okay, let's do this the right way.
Yeah, like, so what we're gonna do is, actually let me share the space with you first. So this is the space that we are going to make into a pantry. And as you can see, it's red. This was the same color that the walls were previously. So what we're going to do is we're sort of going to make something like this. The previous owners made this.
A shelf board used like spindles for a railing.
Yeah, we got like spindles for a railing that we're going to use to make this. And we're sort of going to just like stack it on top of itself, if that makes sense. It's nothing fancy.
We left our tape measure at Lowe's on accident. So we have two rulers.
We're gonna use these rulers to help. I think we left our tape measure on a shelf or in the shopping cart, unfortunately. So this is the space, and I think we're going to remove that up there because originally they had a broom, a dustpan, that kind of stuff hanging there. So we don't need that. Well, we will need to figure out a place to put it, but we're just not gonna put it there. John's going to go out and start constructing everything and cutting everything. I'm going to start by painting. These are the spindles. That's what you would call these, right?
Yeah, they're like for a banister, for a railing.
We thought that they would work to be a little less expensive version.
Yeah, I mean, they use like 1x3s in there, and that would be fine too, but I saw these in there and we were just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like they're already white.
And so we're just gonna cut these down to size.
Yeah.
And then we got these boards.
Shelf board.
We got this shelf board, and we're just going to cut these in half. So I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about why we are turning this space into a pantry. And when we moved into the house, we actually were able to learn a lot about the house from our neighbors and also from the previous owners. And it turns out that the previous owners actually did a huge kitchen renovation on this space, and they actually made a larger kitchen by building out onto a back porch. So I'm thinking that this space was originally like a coat closet. It's, you know, a good sized space, I think, for a pantry. So this cabinet has always had space for a broom, a dustpan, a mop, things like that. It also has an outlet in it as well. And so we always knew that we wanted to turn this space into a pantry because although the kitchen is bigger than our last kitchen, we seem to have a hard time finding storage, and I think that we really need to go through and sort of organize things again. And I don't think I got any footage of it, but there was actually a cabinet that was not a part of the original cabinets in the kitchen, something that I think you could buy at like IKEA or something like that, that was next to the refrigerator, and that was sort of serving as a pantry, but we just had a really hard time organizing it and sort of being able to find things once they were in the cabinet. And so this space was just a little bit bigger than that, and we decided we sort of wanted to take everything out of that cabinet space and actually give the cabinet to somebody else and then just use this as a pantry space. And the kitchen was originally this red color that you see in the closet, and I actually have a video where I shared repainting the kitchen, so I'll make sure to link that above in case you'd like to check it out. So we were trying to decide if we wanted to paint the closet the same color as the walls. We were trying to decide if maybe we wanted to use like a wallpaper or a contact paper, and then we just ultimately decided that when stuff is in the pantry you really won't be able to see the walls, so we just ended up using some white paint that we had on hand. Yay, 2 shelves. And we were going to do a 4th shelf, but we decided we could just put cereal on top of the 3rd shelf because we like cereal. I think this looks really nice. Yay! Oh yay, perfect.
Look at that.
The first things are done.
Cereal.
So now I'm beginning the process of emptying out that cabinet and bringing everything over to the new pantry space. Luckily, it is not very far in between those two spaces, so it's not like I had to walk really far back and forth across the kitchen. So I'm going through everything, looking if anything is expired, trying to sort of condense things, and I was actually taking a lot of stuff out of boxes just to try to make more room for different items inside of the pantry. And this is definitely going to be part one of the pantry series. I want to go through and sort of organize things with bins and different organizers that I've found at Dollar Tree to create even more space in here, and I have some ideas of what I'm going to try, but for now I just wanted to go through, sort of look through everything, see if anything was expired, and just get everything out of that cabinet so that we could then get the cabinet out of the kitchen as well and give it to the person that we were going to give it to. And I really enjoyed this process. I don't have any definite schedule for going through the pantry or the refrigerator or different cupboards and things like that, but I always enjoy doing that because after I've done that, I'm always inspired to cook new meals, and I see everything that we already have on hand, and I'm inspired to sort of just like cook through the cabinets and just use up all of the stuff that we have, the canned goods and things like that we have. So I was definitely excited to be able to go through a lot of this stuff. A few years ago, I shared a video on my YouTube channel about using those can organizers from Dollar Tree to organize a cupboard, and I'm thinking about trying to use those again in this space. I'm just thinking that I might have to utilize a couple other products from Dollar Tree in the process to make that possible. One thing that I noticed with this space is that I am able to stack cans and different items, but I feel like I could be doing a better job using more of the space on the cabinet in terms of like the distance between like the shelf and then the next shelf. I just want to be able to utilize as much space as possible, but I don't want it to be impossible to be able to access things, if that makes sense. So I'm definitely looking through everything that I have, all of my Dollar Tree products that I have. I have quite a few organizational products on hand already, so I don't think I'm going to need to go out and buy anything. I also think that I'm going to be utilizing the back of the door as well, just because I feel like that's a great empty space that I could use to maybe have a calendar with different meal prep ideas or a spot to write down what we're going to be having for dinner that week. I think I could be using it to sort of organize some of our measuring spoons, measuring cups, things like that. So if any of you have some suggestions on how I can organize this space and the different ways that I could set up this space, leave them in the comments below. I would definitely love to hear them. I have some ideas, but I feel like I could definitely utilize this space better. One thing that I knew I wanted to do was to display my aprons, and so I actually found these over-the-door hooks, and I was able to display two aprons that I have. One apron, the one that has the hearts on it, is one that I recently found at, I think it was at TJ Maxx, and then the one with the sunflowers is actually my grandmother's, and I just love that I have her apron sitting in the kitchen. It makes me feel so connected to her, and I absolutely love that it has a special place in the kitchen. So here's the progress that I was able to make in the pantry space. I really love how this turned out so far, and I'm excited to be able to work on more organization and decoration in this pantry, and I'm just really happy that everything fits in this space and it's a little more organized. I'm excited to work on the next part of this process and sort of decorate this space, make it a little more easy to access everything. And as I said earlier, in the comments below, let me know if you have any suggestions on how I can maximize the space here. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing the process of setting up this pantry. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Please check out my blog at thriftedlivingblog.com. Please follow me on Instagram at thriftedliving, and if you don't have an Instagram but would like to stay up to date with what I'm doing, you can follow me on Facebook at thriftedliving page. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!